Hi, it's May 21st, 2020. Well, by the time you're watching this, it'll be May 21st, 2020. And it's my best friend Leah's birthday. Leah is like wisdom beyond years, effort beyond effort, the best friend that like every single person in the world needs. From probably like the age I was 16, she has given me advice that has literally changed the way that I feel and think about things throughout my years. And I wanted to devote a video to sharing some of that advice with you guys because it really did help me when I needed it. And it's one of those life lessons, well, a couple of those life lessons that whenever things get crazy and you think like, oh yeah, I remember I heard that somewhere, it helps you kind of shape your decisions. And so I wanted to be able to share that with you. But before we do that, let me tell you a little bit about my best friend Leah.
Leah and I have been best friends for about 10 years. Actually, I think it's been a little bit over that. We met in theater/choir, classic, and our friendship has lasted forever since. We were roommates in college for 3 out of the 4 years, and she currently lives her dream in DC while I'm living mine in New York. Okay, so maybe I'm a really shitty digital artist. Nevertheless, she's the smartest, brightest star, and not to mention a killer talent with her voice, even though she hasn't been singing on Instagram as much as I'd wish. But stay tuned, maybe I'll sneak peek one of the songs she sang for me on my birthday.
So I migrated over to the kitchen because that's probably the second place that you'll find Leah. If she's not in bed, she's probably cooking something really good. So today we're making a pesto pasta. Now it's just one of those things I make when I miss her. Advice number one was, you're not always gonna get closure. When something breaks apart, like when you have a relationship that ends, and sometimes that's like a personal, like a romantic relationship, sometimes that's like a friend relationship. I think a lot of people think that when it's over, someone says sorry, or this fight that breaks out, sort of this ending moment where it's like, okay, now this relationship is over. And a lot of times in college what ended up happening to me was that I was in relationships that ended and I never felt that final series finale of that relationship. And it left me wondering for months, like, was it something I said? Was it something I did? Was it something they did? How were they feeling? How was this? And the one thing I learned from Lay was like, you can ask for closure once, maybe twice from a person that's hurt you, but then there has to be a moment where you realize maybe you're just not gonna get any. And it's one of the toughest lessons I think anybody can learn, because as long as you're being honest with yourself and you're being truthful and respectful of yourself and other people, sometimes the closure just comes from within. The second thing I learned from Leah was that fashion and social media and the industries are not here to make you feel welcome or comfortable. The way she explained it to me was like, you know, they profit off of women feeling constantly compared and insecure about their bodies. And that is something that, it's one thing to understand like fundamentally what that means, and it's another thing to be like, okay, yeah, I'm cognizant of that when I'm shopping and when I'm purchasing products. I'm constantly on a fitness journey, and I would always like follow all these fitness accounts on social media and try all these fad diets and all these things that like I've now stopped, thank God. It started to make me feel so crazy because every single day they'd be like, oh my god, I lost 5 pounds, and like all these influencers being like, oh my god, I'm like my extra small jeans, and I'd be like, like what am I doing and why am I not looking like them? You know, the industry's not here to make you feel special. Only you can make yourself feel beautiful and feel special. And so when you're purchasing a product, don't look at the size, don't look at the shape, like try it on. If it fits you, buy it, and if you like it, buy it. Obviously, like seeing representation of yourself is great and amazing, but it's hard because I think like right now in the fashion industry, it's like either there's like really skinny people or like the term plus size, which I don't like that term, but yeah, plus size as a genre, or curve or whatever. And for someone like me, like I don't fit in either of those boxes. So it's like, where's my representation? But then I realized I have the power to represent myself. Like no one else is really gonna represent me better than me. So that was my second lesson that I learned from her. My last and final note would probably be that Leah really made me reconsider the power of chosen family and women in my life. I grew up being one of those people that always wanted to have like 155 best friends, and I had all these people in my life, and I didn't really understand what the power of having strong women and important women in my life was until I got to college. She and I spent hours and hours of our time talking about all the what ifs and the hypotheticals, and you know, what we would do in scenarios that literally hadn't happened to us yet, but if they had. And the one thing I took away from her was that she was always gonna be there for me, and that's something that made me a better friend, sister, partner. And I think a lot of times what happens our age is there's that invention of like a cool girl, like the girl that like hangs out with the boys and is different. Like obviously like having, you know, friendships aren't so gendered. I think like there's something to be said about having friendships that are so specifically catered to both of you getting equally the same amount out of it, I guess. I would spend time sort of understanding the women I was working with, the VPs, the directors, and then when I took classes, I understand the classmates I had and the friends I had and my dance team I was on in college, and understanding where each of them was coming from, because I think it made me a more well-rounded person. And that started with me and Leah. Sometimes it's easier to go through things when you know that you're surrounded by women that have also been through them. And I will never, ever, ever not give her credit for opening my eyes to the power of having female friendships in your life. If there's one piece of advice that I think Leah and I would both give you, invest in your girlfriends. Invest in the bonds you create. Invest in the nights and the holidays you spend with them. Invest that time, because they will be some of the most amazing, pivotal, life-changing people to you. I really learned that from Leah, and now I never feel lonely. I always have amazing women around me that have got my back, that understand me, that care about me, and you know, it's magic in itself.
It's the only way. Please, Zuko. I think the Avatar is headed. The sage is attacking. Things have changed.
So yeah, I guess there's no better way to end this video than in the bathroom, which is her third favorite place because she loves to take long showers. I love you, Lee. Happy 23rd birthday. I know that your friends are taking care of you, and I know that I'll see you soon. And if you learned anything from this video, it's that you should cherish and love your best friends, because they turn out to be some of the most life-changing, amazing people. So if you've watched up till here, go ahead and text your best friend and tell her that you love her and that she means the world to you. In the morning when I wake and the sun comes shining through, oh, you fill my lungs with sweetness, and you fill my head with you. When the evening pulls the sun down and the day is almost through, oh, the whole world, it is sleeping, but my world is only you. Can I get close to you? Can I get close to you?